last few minutes, I wanted to point out another great way to donate to the Honor Flights is to participate in the Honor Run. That is an event that's also taking place in November. It's a great event where they basically kick off this run underneath the iconic Florence Y'all Water Tower. And that's happening on Sunday, November 14th. And you can go to honorrunhalf.com to get all the details.
Nice.
But again, they don't get any government money for this.
Yeah.
It's all private donations. It is 7:51. Weather-wise, sunny skies today. It was hot in D.C. yesterday.
Was it?
Not like oppressively hot, and thank God it wasn't too humid. But it was warm. The good news is there's a lot of shade in those parks in D.C.
No, with all the trees, yeah.
Yeah. We had a lot of sunscreen. They kept us hydrated with lots of water, Gatorade. They fed us. Shout out to Arby's D.C. for taking care of us. Yeah.
That guy has his own story. Did they tell you his story about how he was an immigrant and he came over?
He's a Pakistani immigrant who's living the American dream.
The Arby's guy?
Yes.
And
nice.
he is providing, he takes care of the food distribution for the Honor Flights.
Yeah.
And they call him Ace.
He's pretty cool. He shows up and he's got like just massive amounts of food for everyone. And everyone's starving, of course.
Yeah, you don't go hungry on this. That's why it was so funny when Joseph was ready to eat. He's like, yeah, man, I'll tell you what, all that walking around takes a lot out of you.
You're really hungry.
Yeah.
Get your steps in.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm thinking, man, I mean,
yeah.
they weren't kidding. This really is a long day. And if I'm thinking it's a long day, imagine what it's like for some of these veterans. So, anyway, moving on, 7:52. Jeff and Jenn, Cincinnati's Q102.
Sometimes the first date seals your fate. It's the second date update with Jeff and Jenn on Q102.
When are we going on our second date? You said you'd call me, how long should I wait?
Okay, Mark is looking for a second date update with a lady named Vanessa. Hi, Mark.
Hey, good morning.
Welcome to Second Date Update. We're going to try to help you out, but we need you to start from the beginning and kind of tell us how it all came about. How did it start? How did you meet
Tell
Vanessa?
us everything.
All right. So from the very beginning, we met on Hinge, shared a couple of messages. I thought everything was going really well. So I was like, I have this little get together with a couple of friends coming up really soon. Why don't you come out? This would be a really good opportunity for us to socialize, kind of get an idea of what my personality is. So it's an outdoor cookout. There's about 100 people there. So, it's a really, really big party. And I thought that would just be a really fun environment.
Okay. All right.
I mean, do you know everybody there, or is this just like a neighborhood party where you know some people and it just kind of feels like you're hanging out at an outdoor bar? It's just in somebody's backyard.
I mean, out of the 100, I probably knew at least half of them.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it wasn't like some small couples dinner thing or just like a couple of besties. It really wasn't that intense. It was just very laid back, super easy. Cool party, cool people, hung out, ate some food, had some drinks, and she met a lot of the people that I knew, and she seemed comfortable. She was having conversations with people. At a couple points, we held hands, cuddled up a little bit. Nothing too serious, nothing too extreme. So I don't know what else to tell you. We got along great. I thought we had a lot in common.
Okay.
So she's just ghosted in the wind. So I'm at a loss here. It's like, did you not enjoy yourself? Did you not have a good time?
I mean, was she comfortable?
We had a little bit of rapport going here.
Was she talking to the people there when you introduced her to your friends? Was she, outgoing and open, or was she kind of more laid back or reserved or shy or
kind of 50-50? I think she's the kind of person that once she warms up, she's a lot more talkative. At least that's how it seemed to me.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if maybe she was hoping for one-on-one attention from you on your first date without all these other people around. Like,
Yeah.
it's great that she got to know your friends,
You're right.
but I would have thought the goal on a first date was to maybe get to know you better. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing. I'm just curious. I'm trying to get into her head.
I did think of that. And I made sure to, give her a little extra attention. Like, hey, if you need to pull me aside, if you need my attention, I'm literally right here.
So you were communicative and supportive in
if
every
you're
way.
feeling needy at all, just feel free to.
Sometimes I need a moment.
Also, how many people did you say were here at this party?
About 100.
So there are 98 people there that could tell her things about you.
He said he knew about half.
Okay, so
just 50.
40.
Yeah.
48. I don't know. I just thinking maybe
You'll never see her again.
Maybe she got some information she didn't like.
That does happen sometimes. That's a risk you take.
That was my first thought.
Yeah.
Okay. How did the date end? So how was it over? Like, how did it wrap up? Y'all just kind of the party broke up. Did you take her home? Did she stay over?
Yeah, I drove her home. We kissed. I told her I'd call her and I text her and that I had a great and wonderful time. She was like, yeah, okay, good night. And that was it. That's it. That's the last I heard of her.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to call Vanessa and see what happened there. Or maybe didn't happen there. The goal is to try to get Mark a second date. Maybe one-on-one this time. Because we're only paying for 2.
That's right.
Gotta say, I think it was kind of a risky maneuver for Mark to invite Vanessa to this big group backyard party. Was it at your house?
At my house? No, it was a friend's house.
That's right. Because you only knew half of the people. It was like 100 people there. You knew about half of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he took her to that. That was their first date. And she seemed to mix well with his friends. She's good at socializing in situations where because she didn't know anybody, right?
Mm-hmm. She was going in blind, but the way that I think about it is if you're going to hang out with me and my friends, it's kind of a sink or swim situation.
And are these your closest of friends or are these like work acquaintances?
No, these are pretty good friends.
Okay.
Yeah. But Mark seemed to think that it went very well and was hoping to see her again, maybe one-on-one this time, but there's been no response at all from her. You didn't get any kind of negative vibe. She didn't seem standoffish or pissed when you said goodbye.
Not that I can think of, but I have been known from time to time to be a little oblivious.
Oh, I can relate to that.
Yeah. We all have those moments. And all it takes is 5 seconds. I mean, 5 seconds, something can go wrong. And if you don't notice it, Yep.
All right, let's call her up. Let's see what's going on with Vanessa and try to get Mark's second date.
Hello?
Hi, is this Vanessa?
It is, yes.
Vanessa, it's Jeff and Jenn at Q102. How are you this morning?
Oh my God, is this like a second date update?
Everybody asks that. Everybody asks that right off the bat.
Yeah.
Every now and then we call just to give a shout out for listener appreciation.
Or we give away prizes sometimes.
Oh, okay.
But that's not happening this time. Is there someone that you ghosted that you'd like to cop to now before we get going?
Well, I wouldn't say I ghosted, but I recently did have a first date with this one guy, Mark.
Yeah, we talked to Mark.
Is it Mark?
It was
Oh my
Mark.
God. I can't believe he seriously called you for a second date update.
Can I just ask you something?
Oh, no.
Were you put off by the fact that you kind of had to share him with all of his friends? Like he took you to this big group thing? Is that not what you were hoping for, or was that not the issue?
Oh, no. Like he told you that it was like a big party.
Yes. And he said you seemed to mix well with his friends, so that's good. Did you get intel on him that was bad?
No, it was just a really weird night. His friends were actually pretty cool. I don't mind going to a big party, like a nice way to break the ice and kind
Are
of
you a socializer? You love people. Do you love people?
I'm pretty social.
Yeah.
That was fine. But he didn't mention anything about a movie.
About a movie? No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so here's what happened. His friends had like one of these big inflatable movie screen, like setup.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
So,
Yeah.
hey, are they going to play music videos on this or what? I thought that was cool, but they were showing like a porno on it.
What?
A backyard
Yeah.
porno party?
That's a first.
Oh my God. I mean, really intense, serious porno.
Was the sound
It's a cool
on?
movie.
Or was it like no sound, like when you go to like some restaurants and they have like an old Western on?
Or yeah, like clubs.
Yeah.
Bars.
There was no sound,
Oh, that's
thank
good.
God. But listen, I don't have any issues with porn. Like, if you're going to watch it alone, or if you watch it with your partner at home, all the power to you. But not at a party with like 100 people in your backyard. That is just, it was messed up.
Were you the only one? Did it seem like you were the only one that had any issue with this? I mean, what was everybody else's reaction? Was this maybe on the
some
invitation
people
and you just
literally-
didn't see it?
I didn't see an invitation, but so I know some people had chairs set up, so they were like sitting and watching.
That's really funny.
And
Mostly guys, I'm sure.
oh yeah, some of the guys were walking up to the screen and pointing at things. That was really
So
insulting.
I have to
Gross.
ask, was it a specific genre?
Yes, because Tim knows them all.
I don't know them all, but I've learned a lot from this segment.
I did not. I'm not well versed in all the genres, but there were a lot of people in this porn. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
no one
A
seemed
lot of characters.
visibly uncomfortable to you at all?
Well, some couples were sneaking off, like, I think some stuff was going on, like they were sneaking off to bathrooms and stuff. So I'm kind of looking around like, no one seems that insulted. Am I at some kind of weird swingers party? Like, that's not my vibe at all.
And how did he seem?
So-
Did he seem like totally unfazed by this? Did he just pretend it wasn't happening, or was he glued to the screen watching as well? Did he make any comments about it at all? Was there any discussion?
He kind of pointed it out and laughed, like, yeah, these guys, they're crazy. But he didn't seem insulted by it. He also wasn't super into it, which is fine. But I just found the whole party like kind of creepy and gross. And it just made me think, what kind of guy brings a girl to a first date here?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, let's ask Mark. We got Mark on the line. Mark, you want to rebut?
Yeah, I thought you were into it. You were holding my hand and you kissed me a couple times. I mean, if it was so awful, why? What was that all about?
Okay, well, at that time, there was like one really creepy guy, and he was like looking at me weird. So I wanted to make that clear that I was with you, so he wouldn't come up to me and talk to me. I mean, you are a pretty good kisser, but I mean, everything about that party was just weird. It was
Did
just
you know they
wrong.
were going to be showing that? I mean, did you know that was the plan? The inflatable TV, the movie screen
Mark's
with the
annual porno
porn?
picnic.
Yeah, I mean, is that what was happening? Is this something your friends do all the time? Does the inflatable screen go from house to house, and each house hosts a different film?
I'll say this: a lot of my friends are part of a lifestyle, and I don't particularly engage, but they're still my friends. I still love them. What they've said to me in the past is, you can come, nobody's expected to do anything, you can just hang out, and if you ever feel uncomfortable, let somebody know, or you can just leave. So that's what I thought was going to happen. If it was so terrible, like she's saying, if it was so weird or awkward, she could have told me. We could have left anytime.
Were there special pineapple napkins or anything?
Yes.
Okay, so this was
So
a
it was
swingers
swinger
picnic.
party. All right. I think he was testing the
See, that
waters.
makes it-
I
that
think he
makes it
took
weird.
her. Tell me now, just admit it, Mark. Did you take her to were you fishing to see if that would be a lifestyle that she would be interested in? And then when she was holding your hand and kissing you, you took that as she was cool with everything. And yes, this might actually be, a good fit for me.
I've never dabbled, but I've had my curiosities.
That is so gross. Like, so it is a weird swingers thing. That's very strange.
When you say it like
To
that,
bring me there on a first date. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not going to say I want to leave or anything, because it's like, I'm trying to make the best of it. I'm meeting all your friends. I was just kind of curious what was going to go down here. But yeah, I think it's just I think that's a red flag for me.
So, I found myself way back in the day in situations sometimes where I'm like, okay, this is not my thing. I don't think, it's hard to say if it's your thing or not if you've never been a part of it or around it. But I sure am curious to see where this is going to go.
So you'll hang out long enough
I'll hang out
until you don't feel comfortable.
Right.
Anymore.
I was a presenter at the Adult Film Awards one year. And Ron Jeremy was there. And it was like all the big names of the time were in this building. And I think we left too early because I heard stories of things that happened later in the night that I would have been like, that would have been entertaining. That would have been a really great story for me to tell at a later date, and I missed it.
Yeah, you missed it.
Well, since Vanessa doesn't want to go back out, I'll send you the next invite.
Yes, please do. Let me know. I want to check this. And I'm bringing Tim so he can identify the genre.
So much I want to say right now, but I'm stopping myself.
You win some, you lose some.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, that's
All right.
true.
Thank you for putting yourself out there. We do appreciate you coming on Second Date Update.